Tiny House Prepper.
Hey everybody, I'm Bill with Tiny House Prepper, and you know, a couple days ago we put out a video that was a Q&A about our RV. I showed a couple of fixes that we did with the toilet and stuff, and then we answered a bunch of questions. During that video, one of the things that I mentioned was that we were not going to be driving with the propane refrigerator running, and I said that I didn't explain why. I've actually gotten quite a few comments about that. Most of you, or yeah, probably most of you said, oh, we run it with the refrigerator all the time. Some of you said that you've run it for years that way and you've never had a problem. Several of you said that you never run it with the refrigerator. So I thought that I would tell you why I said that I wouldn't do that. Now understand, I don't have any experience with this. It's just from the research that I've done. I've done quite a bit of research just, you know, on YouTube, listening to other RVers who've done it. And when I punched in about, you know, can you drive with the gas refrigerator running, I basically found out that it's a big controversial issue, and there are two sides to the issue. One is that, yeah, there's no problem, you can do it. People are saying, I've done it for years, there's no problem. But there are other people who are saying, no, never do it, it's very dangerous. And here's their reasoning. An RV has propane lines that run down underneath of the floor, of course, to get the propane from the tank to the appliances. There's one main trunk line that runs down the middle, and then it splits off into usually 4 different branches. You've got your heater, your stove oven, your refrigerator, and your hot water heater. And they say that the problem is that if you have an accident, it's very possible for one of those lines to break, because they're just a small copper pipe. It's very possible for one of those lines to break. And if it does, and you have the gas on, then that gas could be leaking into the RV, and that could cause a massive explosion. If, say, for instance, you have your refrigerator running, and you get into an accident and it breaks the line that goes to the stove, well, then that broken line is now pumping gas into the RV, but the flame from the refrigerator is still going, and that could set it off, and the entire thing could explode. Or even if, well, let's say the pipe to the refrigerator breaks, well, the flame is going to go out in the refrigerator, but the gas is still pouring into the RV, and if there's any kind of a spark, it could explode. In fact, one of the videos that I watched was actually done by an EMT, and as he was talking about this, he was saying, please never drive with your refrigerator running on gas. And he was standing in front of it was a pickup truck pulling a travel trailer, pulled over to the side of the road, and the entire travel trailer was engulfed in flames. And so basically, as long as you don't have an accident, there's no problem. But if you have an accident, there's a real possibility that you could have a serious fire or even an explosion. Of course, even if you're going to run with it on, it's basically, I don't know if it's federal law or state law in every single state that you have to turn it off before you get gasoline. You don't want to have that open flame anywhere near a gas pump, so you have to turn it off anyway. But the ones that advocated turning it off said turn off the entire gas system at the tank. You don't want those pipes to possibly rupture in an accident and pump gas into the RV. The tanks themselves are made to withstand an accident. Those pipes are not. So that's the reasoning. My RV repair guy, who I really respect, he was talking about, yeah, when you start it up when you leave, and by the time you get to your campsite, it'll be cold. So he's talking about, yeah, it's no problem to drive with a refrigerator running. So basically, there's the reasoning, and it's up to you. You know, it's your trailer, or it's your RV, whatever. It's up to you to make the decision of what you want to do. Now, those who say that you should turn it off say that if it's cold and if you leave the refrigerator and freezer door closed, that you can drive for 6 hours and only the refrigerator, or the temperature in the refrigerator, will only go up maybe 3 or 4 degrees, that you're not going to get have your food spoiling over a 6 hour period of time, as long as you keep the door closed. There were many of you who made comments and made suggestions that you have, freezer bags or milk jugs full of water or something that you keep in the freezer when you're at the campsite, and before you leave, you take them out of the freezer, put them into the refrigerator to help keep it cold, like a cooler, like an ice chest. Shut the refrigerator off, but keep those ice things in there to help keep it cool. When you get to your destination, then you put them back into the freezer and refreeze them. That sounds like good advice to me. So you can do what you want, but I just wanted you to know why we have made the choice not to drive with the refrigerator running. There was one other question that I got. Oh, yes. A lot of people responded to, what do I do about the keeping the canvas dry? And everybody said basically what I suspected, that if it's wet and raining, you just pack it up wet, and then make sure that as soon as it stops raining, wherever you get to, you open it up and let it dry. So that's, I haven't had a pop-up tent trailer before, but I have done a lot of backpacking, and I've had to do the same thing with tents when it's pouring rain and I have to pack up my tent and put it in my backpack. Then I just, as soon as I can, I open it up and let it dry. So I figured it was the same way with the trailer, but that's what everybody told me, so that's what I'll do. Thank you very much. And many, many people suggested spraying it with Scotch Guard, which I hadn't really known of or heard of. So I will look into that too, getting some Scotch Guard to spray the canvas to help to make it much more waterproof. And one other small comment. Several people asked, have you moved? I don't recognize this place that you're in. No, we haven't moved. This is just our sunroom. And now that it's warm out here, we're really enjoying it out here. And so as long as the weather's good, we'll probably be filming out here in the sunroom. There's glass all the way around. So actually it makes it harder to film, because now my face is always in, a little bit of shadow because of the backlighting of all the windows. But we just enjoy it so much more than just sitting in there in our recliners. And we'll be back in the recliners, in October or November when it gets cold again. But so that's why you're seeing a different ambiance here, because we're out in the sunroom. So, okay, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.